Hello, everyone, and welcome to Therapeutic Tuesdays podcast with me, your host, Amber Star. And I am super excited every Tuesday. I just love this. We are on a mission to inspire you, to have you feeling renewed and therapeutic and on fire for Jesus Christ after every interview. And this woman, Ladasia, this worthy woman filled with wisdom, is a winner, y'all. Ladasia, would you introduce yourself to our awesome audience?
Of course. Hello, everybody. My name is Ladasia Hie. I am a first-generation college graduate. I was able to experience the New England Talent Showcase, which is how I met Amber, and was given this opportunity to share my wisdom and share my thoughts with you all. So here I am. For my background, I am African American. I have a bachelor's in marketing and I have a graduate degree in business. I currently am a professional and I work full time, but I also do have my own podcast as well as my own blog.
Yes, I love it. Well, welcome to Therapeutic Tuesdays. And how are you feeling on this Tuesday?
Amazing. I feel like as we go throughout this week, we have to continue to think about all the opportunities and all the blessings that we have that we just woke up in the morning. And so as I'm able to speak on this day, I'm just excited.
Oh, I'm excited to have you, and I so agree with you. We up, yeah. And audience, y'all already know. Thank you for joining us right here on Red Media Radio every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for everybody on YouTube, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. We are here every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And go ahead and grab your tea in your journal and get ready for an amazing conversation. And the name of this podcast interview, because Ladasia is just this, she's amazing what she puts out, but it's called Optimistic and Opportunities. And I want to start off with a Bible scripture, because we about to get into it, but it comes from 1 Thessalonians 4:18, and it says, "So encourage each other with these words." So Ladasia and I pray that these words encourages you. And Ladasia, you gave an awesome intro. If someone asks you, who is Ladasia, what would you say to that person?
Ladasia is a versatile human being. There's so many different layers that I can contribute to and so many people that I can speak to. And so I consider myself as a vibe sensitive person. I'm the person who walks into the room and provides you with warmth, just through a smile if you're having a rough day, makes you feel better, can give you some type of encouragement with just saying, "Ooh, I love that shirt," or "I love your hairstyle," or "I have that same cup." Just because sometimes I can tell when someone is having a rough day and they just need that smile from someone. I'm also the type of person who is genuine and can give you any type of feedback or any type of lesson with just one thing, because I love to learn and I love to grow. And that's where I derive from. I am a person who wants to share everything that I learn and grow from. And so I like to experience things on my own so that once I go to teach someone or inform them on the information, they then can be able to say, "Oh, she knows this because she went through this already."
I love that, Ladasia. I think versatile is just a beautiful quality to have. And when you can step into a room and read someone's body language, because we always ask, this is one of my prayers, I always ask God for discernment. It's a beautiful thing so we can relate to you. And ultimately, if you're feeling down, we can help you. So continue, sis, doing what you're doing. I love that. And audience, we want to encourage you to this day. So we're gonna call this audience, since this podcast is optimistic, we're gonna call this our optimistic audience. And LaDasia, for y'all, I don't know, she gonna give y'all all the tea, but she has an awesome website. LaDasia, let us know, and you have so many, what some of your goals are, and you put it right in the first page of your awesome website.
Well, it continues to go on with what I learn. And so I love self-care, self-discovery, being able to love yourself. And so anything that I learn or that I am going through, because all of these journeys, there's no true ending of a destination. It's something that you continue to do every single day. So on Monday, you can wake up and you can have all the love for yourself. Then on Tuesday, you wake up, it's a rainy day and you're sad. And so it's something that it all comes from intent. And so if you're intending to be your true self and to learn who you are and to learn how you can be and how you can contribute to the world and what you can give, that's what I intend on helping everybody discover for themselves and to learn for themselves. And so from my blog and from my podcast, they're pretty much the same thing, just they're different channels. And one is from my personal experience, which is from my blog, and the other is from me and my friend. And so on my website, I do say that I want to share anything that I learn with taking care of yourself and with growing. And so I use different titles that will start off with getting out of your comfort zone, or intending on you to be able to grow, or have you done this challenge, or the challenge, I'm ready for this challenge, or anything that can help you become a better you. That's what I like to do.
I love it. I love that when you first go to your website, you're clear about your mission and it draws the viewer in. So what you're doing, growing with your podcast and all the positivity is absolutely beautiful, sis.
Thank you.
One of your goals that you mentioned on your amazing website, and let our optimistic audience know this, is self-love and self-acceptance. LaDasia, I think as women, this is very important because it sets the foundation. When you have a relationship with God and you love yourself, it's easier to love others and to show love. How did you come to a point, take us down your journey of getting to a point where you self-accepted yourself and love yourself to be the woman that you are today?
So, I mean, I come from I'm only child for my mother. I do have siblings on my dad's side, but I grew up with my mom, and um, I have a family who is a team of women of God. And so everybody in my family, if something's wrong, you pray. But if you don't understand what you're praying for, and if you don't understand why you're doing something, you're not going to get to where you want to be mentally, or emotionally. And so in my journey, I was always woken up to say, you're beautiful. You can do this. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. You can do whatever you want, put your mind to, which is true for everybody, whether somebody sees you that way or not. It's you, because everything revolves around you. And so as I grew up, I did struggle with anxiety and depression, and that comes from people around you, your external. However, if you let your external control your life, then your internal is never going to be able to step out of its shell, which is what comes up with the comfort zone as well. And so for my journey, I realized, when are you going to wake up and stop being sad, and then looking in the mirror and saying, yes, I am beautiful. I can do this. No one can tell me that I can't. I can do whatever I want to. So
Amen.
that's the journey of self-care and self-love and even confidence. Everything all derives from the one word of intention. So as you pray and you say, love is patient, love is kind, and you replace love with yourself, I am patient, I am kind, I am worthy, I am not spiteful. When you say all of those things, and when you're praying, or if you don't pray and you have just the gratitude of the universe, because not everybody does believe in God, and I do, if you do change those words, everything all still comes from intent. And so if you're intending on being and loving yourself and being the person that you want to be and getting through your depression or your anxiety, or maybe you are feeling less of a person because somebody externally is keeping you from that, you have to remember that you are your own person and only you can make you better. It's always you versus you. And so you are your own competitor at all times. And so self-love and self-care all derive from you looking in the mirror and saying, okay, I'm done feeling this way. I now need to get up, get it together, and work on myself. Whatever I can do in that moment, I'm going
Yes.
to do, and get away from whoever or whatever is keeping you back.
Mm. I love that, Ladasia. First of all, congratulations to you getting to a point where you self-love and self-accept yourself. And to our optimistic audience, we pray that you get to a point, because you are beautiful and handsome the way that God made you. You are a
Absolutely.
masterpiece, and it says it in Ephesians. Shout out to your family for providing a safe space with you every morning to say you shall, you can, and you will. So I love that, because positive affirmations. So y'all heard Ladasia, if you can, parents, starting off with positive affirmations and telling your children, your grandchildren, your cousin that they can and they will, and removing, and you mentioned this, removing any external
Mm-hmm.
people or places if you're able to, so that way you could be in a safe space. Oh, Ladasia,
Absolutely.
that's amazing.
It's all has to do with the mindset. And trust me, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's not something that you can do overnight. Everything is a journey. As I said, on a Monday, you can be happy. On a Tuesday, you can be sad. On a Wednesday, you could be sad. And then on a Thursday, you're happy all over again, So it's all a journey, and there's never a straight line. Everything is a roller coaster, and that's okay, because everybody's human and no one's perfect, and you'll never be perfect. However, you can continue every day to become the best version of yourself. And that's one of my affirmations every day. I am becoming a better version of myself every single day. I am always attracting. I am never chasing. Those are my two affirmations that I say every single day. And it's because it's something that you can continue to learn from. I love learning. That's one of my favorite things in life to do. And so as long as you can become 1% better each day, that's all that matters.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I always say I want to learn every single day. Oh my
Right.
goodness. Ladasia, you have an amazing website filled with blogs, and it really gives an introspect into your feelings and what you're going through, and provides an opportunity for the viewer to really get some awesome resources to make you feel great about yourself. And I wanted to bring up, because that could be a whole half hour in itself, but I
Right.
wanted to bring up three awesome topics. And one of your blog posts is being limitless. Would you give us a great instruction on that blog post and the resources and your vision and your mission behind it?
Well, to be limitless, and honestly, I would have to even look up that blog post because I wrote that a while ago. But I think that where I'm coming from with that for being limitless is you can do whatever you put your mind to. So there's a lot of stories that I can say with being limitless, but one background story for me to describe for this episode would be when I started college, I wanted to do business. Throughout college, I then wanted to become a surgeon because I'm obsessed with Grey's Anatomy. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but I kept watching that show and I was like, I want to be a surgeon now. But then I realized, no, that's something that you can do, but it's not what you're supposed to do. And so I continued with business. I got out of college. I could not find a job. Then one of my mom's friends said, "Oh, my sister, she's hiring for her position now." I said, "Okay, let me get my foot in the door." And it was a job that I did not like at all. It was horrible. I had to work on the phones. I did not like to speak to the customers all day long. I thought it was very draining. Then the pandemic hit, and I was like, okay, I can either quit this job, have no job at all, and then have to start from the beginning, or I can continue to go through this, and then I'll be able to keep working and do better. And so what I did was I continued to keep working, and then I said, okay, there's this position open. Let me go into this position. I went to a new position, and I continued from then on to go through multiple positions, and I continued learning and networking in my office. As I continued to networking, I ended up in the job that I really love, which I have right now. And so as I say this, I want you to know that just because you're in a moment where you feel like you're in a pickle or you're stuck somewhere because you aren't feeling well in that position, or it's draining you as it was for me, you can now look at it and say, hey, I can actually continue this, work hard in this, and then do better. And so being limitless allows you to have that mindset of, I don't have to just stop here. There's no ceiling for me. I can keep with you being limitless. I do have a blog post, and it actually is called The Limit Does Not Exist. And one quote that I did put at the top is, there is no limit to what you can master. And I resonated with this a lot because at the time that I wrote this post, I was getting better at the job that I'm at now. I was talking about how I got 2 degrees. I am a first generation college student, as I mentioned earlier. And then I also have that blog, had the podcast, and I was modeling too part time. And so, and I started freelance modeling as well. However, I said that because I feel like a lot of times when you grow up, and especially being an African American woman, you feel like you can only do one thing. Maybe you
Mm,
have children, or maybe you are in school, or maybe you are doing both. Maybe you're at home, you're taking care of your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, family members. A lot of the times we are only offered one thing, or we're only working at a part-time job and we can't get that full job. Or if we do a full-time job, we're not making the money that we need to or want to. And so I say that we're limitless because never, ever give yourself a ceiling saying that I can only be here. Always think
mm,
of having the sky as the limit. Always look up to God.
yeah.
Always look up to the Lord and say, I can do this. You said I can do all things through you. And so never, ever put yourself in that moment where you feel like you have a box around you. Always, always know that you have the world around you, and that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And so if you do want to become a part-time model, if you want to start your own business, make sure that you're still taking care of yourself and your family and your household. However, what you should do now is your business that you would consider a side hustle, that's going to be your career. And then what you're doing to make money in that moment is going to be your side hustle, because you're hustling to make sure that you can provide for yourself. However, what you're going to actually do, what you want to do, and what you care about is going to be your career, because that's what you wake up and you think about as soon as you open your eyes. You think about, okay, thank you, God. Thank you for waking me up. This is what I'm going to add to my business today. I had this dream last night. You gave me this message. This is what I'm going to add to this so that I can help myself, help my family, and inspire others. This that I'm going to, my 9 to 5, is just getting my bills paid, getting me gas, getting food on the table, helping put clothes on my back, and making sure that I have those needs that I need to survive with. Because if you do that, once you get to your career, it's not going to be something that's extra on the side. And when you're doing your hustle, you're not going to end up having to do it for the rest of your life, because the thing that you love to
Yeah.
do, your career, is what's going to end up giving you everything that you need and more. And so that's what this blog inspires. It shows you that you don't just have to do that one thing, you can do more than that.
Oh, I love it, Ladasia. I agree with you 100%. To our optimistic audience, you are limitless. Look to the sky, thank God, and say, there are so many opportunities for me. I can, I will. And just like Ladasia said, you can have a hustle to make sure those bills and everything is paid and still be working on what you love to do. And remember that during that time, just be grateful and God will get you through. It might not come overnight, but the harder that work for it, when that moment comes, because it's gonna come, you're gonna feel like a
Right.
oh, Ladasia, that was another one. You also had an amazing one also too about feelings, getting out of your own way.
Right.
Sis, how can we get out of our own way?
Well, optimism. So
Yes.
my post is called "Why Do I Feel Like This?" And it starts off with talking about waking up on the wrong side of the bed. You know, when you're going into work and you're just like, today's just not a day. Like, I just wanted to cancel this day. Um, Sometimes it happens, and you just have to sit back and reflect on what is happening, what is going on in your day to day that is making you feel the way that you're feeling now. A few questions or prompts, because I love journaling. I love to write down everything that I'm thinking. And it can be typing. Sometimes I don't have a notebook with me, so I'll type it out on my phone in my notes. Or my blog itself is journaling in itself. It's me sharing what's going on in my day to day and my thoughts, or what just happened to me a couple days ago. And so, a couple of the questions that I have is, how do I feel in this moment? And I also am getting these questions from what I remember my therapist used to speak to me about when I was in therapy for depression. Um, and and I mean, I started off in depression. I would go twice a week, and then ended up going once a week, and then I did once every other week, and then in less than a year, I ended up going once every month until she only had to check in with me a couple of times. But it's always, you have to do the work yourself. You can go to therapy and you can journal and you can do all these things, but if you're not wanting to do this on your own or wanting to get better, you're not going to. And if you don't do the practices that are provided to you, you're not going to get better. It's going to be consistent, loop of, oh, I feel this way, I feel down, and victimizing yourself instead of being the hero for yourself. And so a couple of the questions I mentioned inside of this post is, again, how do I feel in this moment? And what are some small things that make me happy? Some of those small things that make me happy is my kitten, Dolce. Love her to pieces. Her purring is just so cute. But she's my little baby. And so she's my first pet ever. I just got her. And she's now 9 months. And so just seeing her face makes me happy. Little things like that. Maybe seeing your kids going out with them, getting them ice cream, going on walks, going to the park, Another thing, what am I passionate about? Also writing about things that inspire you, writing about things that you're afraid of. A lot of the time, we don't understand why we feel a certain way. We don't understand why we are sad or why we are hurt. And it's because we don't acknowledge what we're afraid of, or what makes us feel hurt, or people around us that we love, who love us as well, who hurt us. And it could be what they say, how they look at you when you ask a question, any reactions that you're getting from people at work, coworkers. Sometimes people speak and they don't realize that they're hurting you or making you feel a certain type of way. And if you're not acknowledging these things and you're just continuing to push them to the side, these things bottle up in your emotions and in your feelings, in your mental. And so that can cause you to end up depressed. And these are all suppressed feelings or memories that you have, that if somebody says something that makes you feel like you did when you were 3-4 years old, it's a trigger. And so writing these things down, who do you love, a bucket list of things that you want to do, what a perfect day for you could look like. Writing all these things down, positives and negatives, can help you become a better you and help you learn yourself. Because again, self-care and self-love, self-growth, that all comes with self-discovery. Because who are you? Who do you want to be? Or how do you
Right.
want to feel as your best version of you? Understanding all of those things all come from self-discovery and writing things down and learning yourself.
I love that. I've always been an advocate for journaling. So our
Mhm.
optimistic audience, they just said it. Go ahead and take out a journal and describe what you're feeling in the moment. When you were thinking of like simple things that make me happy, I was like, I love to go walking on the beach, or I love to
Yes.
sit back and take some time, 30 minutes, and watch a comedy, just something to get me laughing and in a good mood. So I love that. Like, how am I feeling in this moment? What makes me happy? Am I afraid of? Yeah, I heard Ladasia. Go ahead and take that time, because remember, you're limitless. And when you become limitless, you can reach the sky. Oh, Ladasia, thank you for that insightful information.
No problem.
Oh, and one of your other posts that spoke to me was getting out of your comfort zone. And this is
Oh, yeah.
so good to me, especially in this moment right now, because I actually moved and I definitely got out of my comfort zone. And God was just giving me sign after sign. So, for our optimistic audience, what would you tell them, and what was your mission behind that blog post? Get out of your comfort zone.
So a lot of times, I think it is so easy for us to do what is the normal. And so even just thinking about
Mhm.
COVID happening, us going on lockdown, me and my mom, I live with my mom, and we, in the beginning of lockdown, it was probably the best announcement we ever received. And for a lot of people, it was the worst announcement they ever received because they can't see anyone. But I absolutely love being in the house away from everybody. And so me and my mom were thriving in the beginning. But we realized that if you stay home too much, it creates a social anxiety and you stop doing what you always did before. And so after when the pandemic opened, I was talking to someone and they were just looking at me side profile. And I was like, why are you staring at me? Like, what is happening? They're like, you should model. And I was like, probably not. Because even though I post on Instagram and I get dressed for work and everything and I want to look good, I never thought of, oh, like I have a face of a model, because I think we always misconstrued models to be, I don't know, this big and extremely tall and only a supermodel, than to only realize we watch TV every day and anybody who's on TV is a model. And so they're all
Right.
actors and actresses, but you don't think of that. You only think of a model as being this perfect human being, no matter the shade that they are. They're just everybody's Naomi Campbell. And so when I wrote this post of getting out of your comfort zone, it was to explain that I had a moment of, okay, let's do something new that I never thought I could do before. And so I did do some like fashion shows at school when I was at URI for college. But it was just something that you do for fun because you're only studying or you're only working during college and you want to have new friends, join any type of clubs. So I was like, oh, model? Sure, why not? So I did that at school, but I never thought of being a model where I was going to take pictures and be a part of like an agency or anything. And so last year in 2022, I joined um, an agency that was in Connecticut, and I did like a class for them, and they taught me all the different types of modeling and acting. And so I graduated from there, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can do this, like maybe this is something I could do. And then that's when I did Nets this past year. This spring, I did Nets, and I ended up winning first place. And I didn't think I was going to, because everybody who was there had either modeled already or had more experience of modeling than I did. But getting out of your comfort zone is something that helps you learn more of what you're going to do or what you should be doing. And so I made it to that my point of my modeling career of, okay, You can actually do this. You don't need to doubt yourself anymore. However, this isn't your end game. And from modeling, I learned exactly what I wanted to learn in the beginning. I started modeling because I wanted to gain self-confidence and I also wanted to gain more
Mm.
self-love. And so while I started off the modeling and I did my first year of modeling and I graduated, at the end of 2022 is when I started my blog. And it took me 2 years to start my blog because I thought nobody's going to read this. And at the end of the day, I woke up and I said, well, who cares if anybody reads it? I'm actually writing. And if only 5 people read
Come
it,
on.
it's okay, because those 5 people are going to learn something from this, or I'm going to learn something from this in the end, even if it's just me reading it, because now I stepped out of my comfort zone. And then also, I started my podcast with my best friend, and we thought we would never do that. It actually took us, I think, 5 hours to record the introduction, which is only maybe 15 seconds long. And it's because we kept saying, oh, we sound gross, we sound horrible. But no, that's just how we talk. And everybody hears our voices every day. We don't stay quiet. We're very loud in the office. And so it doesn't matter if we sound horrible in that moment. But stepping out of your comfort zone is something that allows you to take that next step into self-love and self-growth. It makes you realize
Absolutely.
I can do more than I do on the daily. And so this blog post can just show you you don't have to remain where you are. You can do more. And so step out of that comfort zone and show yourself, prove to yourself, nobody else, just you, that you can do it.
I love that because I remember someone said when you're in your comfort zone, that's a dangerous spot. You don't want to be in it because
Yeah.
there's so much to life. And I love what you said. Like you went on this journey, you did modeling to find self confidence. So when you step out of your comfort zone, even if it's for a little bit, maybe God's calling you, but you discover so much about yourself, about the environment, about the resources, and it brands you. So how would you know if you didn't step out? So
Exactly,
yes,
exactly.
and I mean many times, even in the Bible, I'm thinking of Esther out of her comfort zone. I'm thinking of Abraham. When you step out, there's so many benefits to it. So our optimistic audience, go step out your comfort zone and go get toned. And Ladasia, where can I want to tell you, sis, it's more than that. People reading it because I'm over here reading your blog post. Let our audience know the tea on where they can find your awesome post.
So you can find my post on my blog. It's ladasiahie.com. So it's my first name, LADASIAHIE.com.
Yes, yeah, go check it out. And you mentioned this, you have in Ladasia, you have such a positive and informative podcast. And I know the name of it. Let our audience know you and your best friend, your introduction to your awesome podcast.
So our podcast is Besitos and Blessings. And the basis of it, again, is the self-discovery, learning how to be your true self and the best version of yourself. It's with my best friend. So we do have an Instagram handle, again, Besitos and Blessings. And we are hosted on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts.
Woo, woo, audience, go check out Besitos and Blessings. Did I say it right, by the way?
Besitos and Blessings.
Besitos and Blessings. Go check out their positive podcast to feel great after and take you down their journey on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Oh my goodness, Ladasia, this has just been so filled with so optimistic. If you, and I'm sure there are so many, but if you had one seed to give our audience to take that seed so they can water it and it could grow, what would you say to our optimistic audience?
I would say learn who you are and focus on
Mm.
your intent for self-discovery, self-love, self-growth, and self-care.
Ah, I love that. Learn who you are so you can self-grow. And one of the ways we really broke it down is by journaling. And whether
Mhm.
you want to do it once a week or what's good with your schedule. Oh, I mean, Ladasia, thank you for providing a safe space of positivity on this Tuesday and appearing as your authentic self on Therapeutic Tea Tuesdays.
No problem. I loved being here.
It has definitely been a blast.
Absolutely.
And oh, to our optimistic audience, we pray like in as in First Theologians, and it says 4:18, we pray that the words that came out that they encourage you and empowered you. And y'all know me, y'all. I'm Amber Star, and I just want to thank you so much for joining. And I have a Linktree/Amber Star, and it has all the tea on me for the YouTube, for Red Media Radio, for life coaching and YouTube and everything that I got going on. So go ahead and check that out. And we want to just thank you so much for blessing us with this opportunity. And thank you. And we're here on Red Media Radio. So go ahead and keep it locked every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And we want to tell you, God bless. And to everybody on YouTube, Ladasia's information will be linked down below. So make sure you go and follow her and connect for some blessing and positivity. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're here every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one of the things Ladasia mentioned, and I want y'all, this is a question, right? Comment down below. How are you feeling in this moment? Let us know how you're feeling and drop your email address so that way just I can send you just a positive prayer, encouraging word. It would just be a blessing. So go ahead and comment below. And Ladasia, I always say this to the YouTube fam, me and Ladasia, from one woman to another, we are sending an abundance of blessings, Yahweh. Thank you, Ladasia.
Thank you.